Welcome back to GoDoBe EmPowerMe. I'm Joe Goskowski, your host, your guide, and your coach throughout this journey. Now, before we go any further in this program, we need to take a pause for a moment and have a heart-to-heart about something that's really, really important. I said to you earlier in one of the previous modules that success, our success, or happiness in life is a do-it-yourself project. I can teach you how to create a plan, to build a foundation, and to show you the steps necessary so that you can see it all come to life. But what I can't do is I can't take those steps for you. That part is always up to you. Now, you probably already know the idea that if I don't take the steps, or we don't take the steps, that nothing will happen in our world, that we have to take the action. So why do I even bring this up? Why mention this at all? Well, I've noticed a trend happening in the world over the past few years. It's a trend that we ourselves do not want to be trapped by. You see, there are so many people in the world around us today that want to be led. They want someone else to tell them what to believe, to tell them what is true and what is not, to tell them what they should and shouldn't do. They seem to be of the mindset that whatever's in their newsfeed or whatever gets sent to them by a friend or a colleague, whatever app or algorithm happens to push their way, that it must be true. And they follow it, usually because they don't know what to do on their own or what to believe. So for many people, it's just easier to go with the flow. And we get used to the idea of knowing only what we already know. Nobody has all the right answers, and sometimes it's hard to know what to believe. But I need us to realize that it's okay. It's okay not to know everything, because what we're going to do is we're going to figure it out in this program. For us or for anyone, in order to be successful in the long term, we need to be our own leaders, to lead ourselves. If we simply rely on others, allow others to lead us, chances are that they will likely lead us astray, or they will move us in the direction that they want us to go. We won't allow that to happen to us. It's not going to make us successful, happy, and healthy. We're not following someone else into the unknown. No more. We're forging our own path through a world of amazing possibilities. However, our way forward requires that we understand the idea and the essence of self-direction, that it is we who will chart our course, we who will take the steps, and in the end, it will be we who reap the rewards. Now, in order for us to demonstrate self-direction, we first need to understand two key ideas. The first idea is this notion that we call freedom. And freedom for us means that we can go in any direction that we want, and that we can choose a path that may be very different from what everyone else around us wants to do. As much as we cherish the idea of the personal freedoms that we have today, that we can say or do whatever we want, we must remember that freedom by itself does not work. It needs something else. Our freedom has an important companion, without which it is flawed and it will not last. So what is this companion to freedom that I'm referring to? Well, freedom's companion is responsibility. Responsibility means that whatever choices we've made, whatever outcomes we've experienced or consequences that have occurred, that we own it. Good or bad, it's ours. We are responsible for it. We don't exist in a vacuum. We live in a social world that has structure to it. One that requires that we take responsibility for our thoughts, our actions, and even our own feelings. In our world today, there are far too many individuals who prey on others, that will quickly take advantage of them, that will use them for their own purpose and their own gains. We all know that this is wrong, and they shouldn't do it. But we also need to realize that we are wrong for allowing them to do it to us. We give them the power over us by blaming others for what happens to us, by not wanting to be responsible for where we are in our life, and when we do this, we give up our freedom to choose what we want in our future. All because we ignored freedom's companion, responsibility. Freedom of thought, choice, and action only work when we maintain responsibility, our responsibility for it. Those who don't want to be responsible also don't want to be free. This doesn't work for us. To be successful, to create the kind of life and world that we want to live in, it requires that we maintain our freedom and we recognize that our responsibility goes with it for whatever thoughts, actions, or choices that we make. If it's going to be, it's up to me. In this program, freedom and responsibility are critical to our success. Remember, we can't be successful without freedom, and we can't have freedom without responsibility. It just won't last, and neither will our dreams. We need to do both. So before we continue with the next module, please take a moment and reflect on the marriage of or relationship between freedom and responsibility. So that's it for today's session. Here's our final thought to reflect on. I think of a hero as someone who understands the degree of responsibility that comes with his or her freedom. That was written by Bob Dylan, an American singer-songwriter. Now maybe it's time for you and me to become our own heroes. Until I see you next time, have an absolutely amazing day. See you very, very soon.